Madison has joined the growing list of locations where protests are happening. A scheduled protest in March went on peacefully, but once it ended, a group broke into a jewelry store on State Street. Our Gabriela Becerra has been there all afternoon. Gabby, what's happening now?
Amanda, well, it was a very peaceful protest for the most part all day, but about an hour after it ended, protesters came back, started marching down towards off of State Street, off of the Capitol, and came down towards Goodman's Jewelers. And they took a stick and they took turns hitting it, finally broke glass, finally broke through, got into the store and came back out. Now, they were just standing in a line here in front of Goodman's Jewelers as the police started to make their way from the top of State Street down towards them, confronted them, let off some tear gas. Now, as you can see, they're moving farther down State Street. Now, Amanda, I just want to say, State Street was bustling this afternoon with a lot of people out enjoying businesses as they've been reopening. And so a lot of the people who weren't a part of the protest have been making their way out. Others are standing around and watching, but the protesters are slowly moving down, farther down State Street, and police are moving in. Now, police did come through over a loudspeaker and say that this is now considered an unlawful assembly and that anybody in the area can be arrested. So I don't know how much longer this is going to go on before arrests start happening, but they keep releasing tear gas. People keep pushing back, and we were far back enough, but the tear gas is in the air. You can feel it in your throat, you can feel it in your eyes, and you can feel it in your nose. So a lot of people are trying to get out of the area, but we will keep bringing you updates on this situation. As you can see, it is progressing very quickly, but we will update you as the show goes on, Amanda.
All right, Gabby, thank you so much. New at 6, Milwaukee Mayor Tom Barrett is implementing a 9 o'clock curfew. Meanwhile, Governor Evers is sending members of the Wisconsin National Guard to support local law enforcement in Milwaukee. 125 members will be immediately used by Milwaukee authorities. They'll protect critical infrastructure like utilities and fire stations. According to a news release, the National Guard will not be used to impede the ability of people to peacefully protest or interfere with the media's ability to report. In a statement, Evers said in part this limited authorization of citizen soldiers from the Wisconsin National Guard will help protect people who are exercising their First Amendment rights and ensure the safety of the public. The governor's order comes after what started as peaceful protests in Milwaukee turned violent last night. One Milwaukee police officer sustained a gunshot wound while responding to a protest on the city's north side. The 38-year-old officer is expected to survive. The city's police chief says 50 people were arrested early this morning.
Things changed. Was another entity, that of crime, unlawfulness, distastefulness, and totally immaturity. There were 16 businesses that were looted. There was some businesses that were set on fire. Okay? These businesses are from our community.
Chief Morales also thanked those protesters who did remain peaceful and nonviolent. Minneapolis continues to grapple with protests and unrest 5 days after the death of George Floyd. The city was under curfew at 8 o'clock, but hundreds of people still took to the streets to protest. Minnesota Governor Tim Walz admitted more needs to be done in addressing issues of racism in the police department, but also said violence will not help the community.
So let's be very clear. The situation in Minneapolis is no longer in any way about the murder of George Floyd. It is about attacking civil society, instilling fear, and disrupting our great cities.
This morning, Governor Walz mobilized the full force of the Minnesota National Guard, a move that has never been taken in the state's history. Officials expect up to 13,000 soldiers and airmen to be serving communities in Minneapolis starting tonight. More protesters are gathering outside the White House just hours after President Trump said he wasn't sure if there would be more protests tonight. He claims his supporters, who he refers to as MAGA for Make America Great Again, quote, love black people. The comments were made as he left the White House to head to Florida for the historic rocket launch.
But I have no idea if they're going to be here. But MAGA is Make America Great Again. By the way, they love African American people. They love black people. MAGA loves the black people. I heard that MAGA wanted to be there. A lot of MAGA was going to be there. I have no idea if that's true or not. But they love our country. Remember that. MAGA, it's just an expression, but MAGA loves our country.
When President Trump was asked if he was calling on his supporters to protest, he said, quote, "I don't care." One law enforcement officer in Oakland, California is dead after last night's rally. Police say 2 Federal Protective Service officers posted at the city's federal building were shot. Authorities do not yet know if the shooting is related to the demonstrations. A second officer is currently in the hospital. And in Detroit, a teen was shot and killed at a protest against Floyd's death that turned violent. Officials say a peaceful protest turned hostile around 6 o'clock last night. 5 hours later, a car pulled up near protesters and someone fired a gun. A 19-year-old man was struck by at least 1 bullet and taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. In Georgia, hours after a peaceful gathering turned into vandalism and arson, hundreds were seen cleaning up the community this morning. In downtown Atlanta, the CNN Center's lobby and sign was damaged, while several shopping centers were also broken into. Amid the protests this week, millions of Americans are coming together to stand up for one another. That includes a Middleton teacher who's using her network of family and friends to make a difference. Tehalil Mohideen joins us now with her message.
When I spoke with Anna Hirsch, she told me she was pretty privileged growing up and never really had to think about police brutality. She says learning about the issue has been a journey, and now she wants to make a difference.
Having to protest and fight for your murderer to be taken to jail. How does that really make you feel on the inside? Because that makes me feel really upset, and I know that if that happened to me, it would be done in a second because I'm a white woman.
After witnessing the death of George Floyd on television, Anna Hirsch says she was compelled to do something to help those fighting injustice.
I had a lot of reservations about doing it as a white woman, but I think what was important about doing it is I have the privilege to do that, and I have people who listen to what I say, and I hope that by them listening to me, they will realize that I'm not the person they need to be listening to, that they need to be listening to our Black community.
Hirsch came up with the idea to sell masks that read, "I can't breathe," to raise money for the activist group Black Lives Matter. She hopes her efforts help Black people in the Madison community feel supported.
We wanted to use the masks and our voices to start to build that community, to really actually make everyone feel that they are a part of it.
Hirsch's friend and fundraiser participant, LaShawn Jefferson, says this initiative means a lot.
Warms my heart, eases my heart, and, actually makes me, feel, more of a person, more like as I belong, because it's not common for a white person to stand up for a Black person.
As they distribute the masks in the Madison community, Jefferson has this advice about how interactions between police and the community can improve.
Be slow to speak, but listen more. So, if you just listen to, what we have to say, and, slow to speak, don't overtalk them, let us have a say, and, let us have our voice.
Hirsch says they've already raised enough funds for 200 masks in just 2 days. If you're interested in purchasing a mask, we'll have that information on our website, channel3000.com.
Thank you so much, Tehalil. Let's get a look at your first warn weather with Dana Fulton now. Another beautiful day outside. It wasn't too hot, but we got a lot of sun.
Plenty of sunshine, mostly sunny sky and a little windy at times, especially if you're around the lakes at all. So we have a live look currently with our Edgewater sky cam. You can see all of the sunshine, but the water is moving. Temperatures are in the upper 60s, just a little bit below where we should be for this time of year. Our breeze steadily close to 10 miles per hour, but gusts have gotten into the low 20s. Water's still a little cold. Lake Mendota at 66 degrees, so the beaches are all closed right now. Likely won't see those open until we get further into June. Tomorrow, temperatures will yet again be in the upper 60s with mostly sunny skies. Enjoy the sunshine and the cool temperatures. It's going to get a little warmer and a little more humid as we look ahead through the rest of the week. We'll still get your full 10-day forecast in just a few minutes. Amanda?
Thank you, Dana. Turning to the coronavirus pandemic now, the DHS is reporting 20 new COVID-related deaths today as the percentage of positive tests drops to 5.3%. There are now 18,230 confirmed cases of coronavirus in Wisconsin and 588 deaths. 62% of those infected have recovered. Officials report 523 new cases today, more than 200 fewer than yesterday. Nearly 15,000 people were tested statewide over the past 24 hours. You might remember this video from last weekend. Health officials in Missouri say one of the partiers in the Lake of the Ozarks has tested positive for the coronavirus. According to officials, the person felt ill last Sunday but was possibly infectious before then. They say the patient did visit several bars last weekend along with a few other businesses. Earlier this week, health officials asked anyone who visited the lake to self-isolate for 14 days. 6 people are displaced after a fire in Janesville last night. Firefighters were sent to a fire in the 1500 block of South Willard Avenue around midnight. Officials say they were able to limit the damage to one bedroom, but total damages to the house are estimated to be $78,000. One person was treated for minor injuries. The cause of the fire is under investigation. Also in Janesville, one man is dead following a single-car crash on Highway 14. Rock County officials responded to the crash at Shireen Road shortly before 1 o'clock this morning. Police say the car didn't stop at a stop sign and hit an embankment on the highway. The 43-year-old Milton man was pronounced dead at Mercy Hospital. A 32-year-old passenger is in stable condition. Officials believe alcohol did play a factor in this crash. Madison officials are responding to a car crash this afternoon where one car flipped over. It happened after 4 o'clock at the intersection of Milwaukee Street and Lamplighter Way. Dane County Dispatch could not confirm any injuries yet.
When America needed us to build, we built. Masks, ventilators, shields. When frontliners needed support, Ford dealers answered. And now we're open and ready to serve you. With exciting special offers and deals across the Ford lineup. Stop by a Ford dealership or go online. We've made it safer to shop, easier to buy. Right now, qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 84 months, plus 3 months deferred payments on select 2019 Ford vehicles.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
I solemnly swear that I will support the veterans of the
United States Armed Forces.
I will defend the Constitution
against all enemies. That I will commit
to ensuring they are
not forgotten. And I will obey the orders of the President of the United States.
And I will enable veterans to live the same life of opportunity
they have provided me. So help me God.
Slumberland's huge memorial sale is almost over. Don't miss out on hundreds of incredible markdowns, like a power recliner for just $396, a Sealy Queen mattress marked way down to $598, our best-selling Adirondack chairs for just $188, our lowest price ever. If you've been waiting for our very best deals, this is it. And get free no-contact shipping with no minimum. But it all ends Sunday the 31st, so don't miss it. The memorial sale at Slumberland Furniture.
Here's to the road ahead. Trust Toyota to be here for you.
Right now, Toyota is offering 0% financing for 60 months on a new 2020 RAV4. Or you can lease a new RAV4 for $229 a month. You can even shop and buy online from the comfort of your home. Many Toyota service centers are open to help keep your vehicle in top shape and may even offer no-contact vehicle drop-off.
All from the brand you trust today and tomorrow. Toyota.
You are watching News 3 Now at 6.
A protest at the Capitol Square this afternoon called Justice for George went on peacefully, but then once it ended and people started to disperse, a group broke into a business on State Street. Let's go back out to our Gabriella Becerra. Gabby, what's happening now?
Amanda, since we've checked in with you, they have advanced quite a bit down State Street. We are now in the 500 block of State Street, but they just let off more tear gas about a block down. Protesters just keep pushing back and the police keep pushing back. More and more officers are coming to the scene. They're trying to block off as much as the area, but I'm going to have Troxel so we got some more police officers coming into the scene now. A lot of people are coming up to the officers and, shouting at them. But I'm going to have trucks will show you over here. Now, State Street was packed this afternoon as businesses are reopening. Now businesses are having to put their patio stuff away because everyone has been asked to leave the scene. This is now considered an unlawful assembly by the Madison Police Department, and they're saying that anybody who is here can be arrested. But Amanda, they keep moving down, so we will bring you more information as we get it, and we'll update you soon, hopefully.
All right, Gabby, it seems like it happened so fast. Thank you so much, Gabby. Still ahead on News 3 Now at 6. A pretty cool night ahead before a sunny Sunday. Dana's back with your First One forecast next.
Steinhoffels has been the name you trust for over 85 years. Right now, all living room, dining room, and bedroom furniture is on sale. Get 40 to 70% off on the largest selection of furniture, plus free no-contact shipping and no money down, 5 years to pay financing, plus an extra 10% off clearance. Get amazing deals on all of our mattresses like Tempur-Pedic, Beautyrest, and Purple. Shop our large showrooms where we've taken all the necessary steps to provide you a safe shopping experience. Shop in-store or online today during Steinhoffels Memorial Day sale.
This is our home. We've never seen it look quite like this.
But there's no mistaking it.
And it's our job to protect it.
Because the best people to fight for our communities
are those within them.
So if you've just bought a Volkswagen or were thinking of buying sometime soon, we're here to help with the community-driven promise.
We asked real customers what they really love about Spectrum Internet and TV.
Spectrum Internet has the fastest speeds for everything I do.
There is no turning wheel. It's immediate.
Spectrum's the fastest. Bam.
Get the fastest download speeds with the most reliable performance with Spectrum Internet, delivering starting speeds of 200 megabits. That's more than enough for all your devices for $44.99 a month. Call 833-906-4499.
I can't get over how much on-demand Spectrum has. I can literally watch a new movie every night.
I got all my shows, and he's got all his shows.
With the Spectrum TV app, I can watch live TV anywhere. It's perfect.
Add Spectrum TV and enjoy more free HD and more free on demand. Plus, use the Spectrum TV app to watch live TV on the go, all from $44.99 a month. Call 833-906-4499.
The fact that they don't have contracts, that says a lot about their service.
Get Spectrum Internet and TV from $44.99 a month each with no contracts. Install Spectrum services yourself. Get a self-installation kit shipped right to your home. Call 833-906-4499.
Is your energy bill shaking you down? Then do like thousands of homeowners. Call us here at Mad City Windows and take advantage of our factory direct window blowout sale. Get a house full of windows for $29.95. 0 down, 0 payments, and 0 interest for 18 months. A bonus, you buy 7 or more windows and you get a patio door installed absolutely free. Call now and get a free $100 Walmart or Amazon gift card with estimate, and be sure to ask about virtual online estimates.
Thankfully, things are pretty quiet right now for our forecast. Today turned out to be a lovely day, and tomorrow is going to be very, very similar. High temperatures yet again in the upper 60s, still just a little breezy outside, and still expecting a mostly sunny sky. A warm front is going to enter on Monday. That's going to bring the chance for some showers and thunderstorms and a big jump up in our temperatures, a big jump in our humidity as well. Highs for the end of the week will be in the 80s, with heat index readings starting to creep close to 90 degrees, if not into the low 90s. We're mostly clear tonight with our breeze coming from the north, so temperatures overnight will be dropping quite a bit. We could even have some patchy frost for areas north of the Dells. Right now, we're going to take a break and toss it back over to Amanda with the latest, I believe, with Gabby. Amanda?
Yes, we are going to go back out to our Gabriela Becerra. She is on State Street. I know that police there have deployed tear gas, and things
Amanda,
are
this is
changing
progressing
quickly.
very quickly since we last talked. Amanda, since we talked to you last, things are progressing very quickly. But you can still kind of see remnants of it, but they just dropped a lot of pink tear gas, and people just came running towards the top of State Street. Here they come again. They're running, trying to get away from tear gas, and people are running into each other. Police are getting out of the cars. They're dropping more tear gas. There it goes. They're moving it up State Street. I'm starting to think me and our photographer should move back a little bit. Troxel, let's move on back a little bit. They're pushing the tear gas farther up towards the top of State Street, trying to get people to leave the scene. Again, they're calling this an unlawful assembly by the Madison Police Department. There goes another one. Streets of Madison, Wisconsin, everyone take a walk. Amanda, I don't know if you can see, but it's literally chaos. People are turning over plants. Truxel. People are turning over plants.
Gabby, it's hard to tell who is just watching and who is involved in this violence. How many people have you seen, you know, doing things like this and knocking over planters?
Amanda, I can't even tell. It's pretty much chaos at this point. People who are in the area have no idea. I'm sorry, Amanda, I don't know if you can still hear me. People in the area are kind of just tagging along, it seems like. We're gonna move on back. But people are throwing rocks at this Wisconsin State Patrol car right now.
How long after this was peaceful, when did it turn around?
Amanda, this was a very peaceful protest up until about an hour after the protest ended was when things started to get a little crazy. People started whacking the windows at Goodman's Jewelers. Now they're moving farther down State Street and people are throwing rocks everywhere, trying to break some glass. They're knocking over the plants, and like I said, I can't tell who's protesting and who's not. It just seems like everyone's in the area. And that tear gas is moving farther down. But the protesters, the main protesters, they're moving towards the university right now. I don't know if you can see that far, but sirens are up there, and the main people who were breaking into Goodman's Jewelers are now up by the University of Wisconsin-Madison. So it's hard to tell exactly who was at the protest and who wasn't.
And it's a sunny weekend. It's State Street. There's a lot of people there. It seems like a lot, you know, they have their phone out. They're trying to figure out what's happening, but not a lot of people are moving.
Oh yeah, Amanda, a lot of people did move actually. Restaurants were packing up their outdoor patios because a lot of people were eating out today on the patios, and those people kind of just got up and they got out of the situation. A lot of these people seem like they want to stay and be involved in this protest now. So some people did leave, some people are staying around.
And Gabby, can you tell me again, what were the police officers saying over the loudspeaker to these protests? What are they telling them?
They were saying that this is now considered an unlawful assembly by the Madison Police Department and that anybody who's in the area could be arrested. They haven't said much more since then. More stuff is breaking. Again, people are just knocking over these planters. I don't know if you can tell, just destroying part of State Street.
I mean, it seems like there's still a lot of people there with their phones. Are they dissipating? Are more people joining this group of people who are destroying things?
No. I would say it's a good amount of people are filming it, a good amount of people are just watching, and a good amount of people are shouting things. It's just a combination out here. And Amanda, I just want to tell you how quick this is all happening. Like 25 minutes ago, we were at the top of State Street when people were just starting to break into places, and now we've progressed down into the 500 block of Madison. A lot of protesters are even farther, so this is happening very quickly, just within the time of our program here.
And this isn't, where you are is not even the main group of people who started this.
Amanda, we're gonna
That's
run,
okay.
we're gonna move.
Gabby, get to a safe spot.
Excuse me, sir. We are...
Now, we want to reiterate
Amanda,
that this is not the spot, even the spot where people started the vandalism of the jewelry store on State Street. It seems like those people have gone down State Street towards UW, and that's where the police presence was really big. But this is still further down State Street where people, it looks like, are now standing on top of some of those planters.
Sorry. Truxel.
We want to make sure our Gabriela Becerra gets to a safe spot before she continues there. But it looks like people are continuing to destroy things there on State Street.
Amanda? Amanda, I don't know if you can hear me, I just heard you say that we're trying to get to a safe spot. And this is all happening very quickly, so we don't really know what a safe spot is at this point. So people who are in the area that don't want to be a part of this protest should avoid State Street at the moment. Amanda?
Yes, it seems like there's still, there's people there still with their dogs, and it looks like families are still there, unsure where to go, what to do.
Stephen, I'm back. I'm sorry, Amanda. Amanda, can you repeat that question?
Seems like there are still a lot of people standing there. There's even a woman behind you with her dog, just watching. Nobody's really getting out of the area.
Yeah, Amanda, I can feel the tear gas in my throat, so if that's not enough to push people out of the way, they must really want to be here. They must really have a message, because they are staying, they're watching. People who probably weren't even part of the protest earlier. More running.
No, that's somebody else.
Okay, you can bring us back. Amanda, I just want to point out that we keep moving because we don't really quite know what's happening, because it's all happening so fast. People are throwing things at windows, they're toppling over plants, and the police is farther down right now. But police are at both ends of State Street, they're at the intersections.
Are these, Gabby, I know you were walking with those protesters. Are these some of those protesters, or these, people that are just walking around State Street? Where did these groups come from? Do you know?
Yeah, Amanda, I did recognize some of the protesters who were banging on the Goodman's glass doors as people from the protesters. Okay, the police are now heading back towards State Street, back up to the top of Capitol. So we are going to move up State Street.
Okay, girl. Move up State Street. Fuck some time out. Keep it down.
So police are advancing towards the Capitol. We are in the 500 block of State Street. Again, they've been using tear gas to deter people from the area. And then people start running. Oh, okay, the glass of Urban Outfitters just was smashed. People are heading into Urban Outfitters in the 500 block of State Street.
I got fucking pepper sprayed 3 times. Three times. And then I got fucking tear.
We want to apologize for some of that language there. Obviously, this is a live situation. It looks like Urban Outfitters is being broken into right now. The glass is being shattered. Again, like Gabby keeps saying, this escalated.
Yep.
Police trying to move people to a certain area?
Let's go this way. Yeah, Amanda, police are just trying to get people out of the area. So right now, me, your photographer, we're trying to move up State Street because people are just running because the police are advancing this way. Like I said, police are just trying to get people out of the area. I don't think they're trying to get them to move a certain way, more as just leave altogether. Like I said, they're calling this an unlawful assembly, and anyone who is in the area can be arrested. I haven't personally seen anybody arrested yet. We're going to keep walking away from the scene.
And Gabby, it looks like, a lot of young people, a lot of, college-aged people there, but it's hard to tell if they were already on State Street or if they're part of this.
Yeah, Amanda, I'm not too sure myself whether they were already on State Street. It seems like people came prepared because people are walking around with milk. Some people have signs. So I would probably say it's a good mix of things of people who got curious about the situation and wandered out of their apartments and onto State Street, and then a mix of people who wanted to be here for this, I guess you can now call it a riot instead of a protest.
And obviously, I mean, there is no, I know earlier during the peaceful protest, there was chanting, there were speakers, they were talking about George Floyd and, you know, the issues that they have with racism, and it was really a movement. This is very different. There's no chanting, there's not a message from these people. It's simply to destroy things, vandalism.
Yes, we've been hearing a lot of messages of negativity towards the police. So I would say that, you know, earlier was pretty much a peaceful protest apart from some vandalism done with spray paint to buildings around the city. And so now things have definitely advanced quite a bit towards vandalism to State Street. Everywhere I go, right here, people are, I'm gonna get out of the way, but people are trying to topple over the flowers everywhere, and I don't know if they're thinking this could be a barricade. Troxel, look behind you. There's a mannequin. People are dragging mannequins through the street, which I presume is from the Urban Outfitters that they just broke into. That almost looks like Under Armour clothing, so I'm wondering if they broke into Under Armour as well. We need to get to a sidewalk here. But Amanda, there's glass in the street everywhere. So it's very important that people are cautious out here right now.
Yeah, Gabby, it looks like the police are getting closer to where you are. Are they pushing people back?
Yes, so they're pushing people back with tear glass. Okay, people are trying to now break into lots of Stonefire Pizza. It's taking people a couple tries, but it looks like they got...
I just like to say...
That is an empty building, so it doesn't look like... But regardless, they're breaking into the store. But yes, Amanda, people are advancing towards us. We are at the corner of State and Broome. That is between the 400 and 500 block of State Street.
And like Gabby is saying, I mean, this escalated quickly. Now they're just picking different restaurants to vandalize, to break into. I mean, there's no message here. It's simply to destroy things.
Yeah, Amanda, they've been shouting. We're going to move out of the street. Let's go maybe down here.
Yeah, Gabby, we want to make sure you're not in the street and safe from, I mean, what's happening. At this point, we don't know what people in the street are going to do next.
What?
No, they are right there. Come on, if we...
All right, Amanda, we got to keep moving. The tear gas is coming this way. Run. We are running, Amanda.
As Gabby is saying, there seems to be more tear gas being released from police there. Obviously, this is a scary scene for us here in Madison, but these are similar pictures that we've been seeing the last few days in Minneapolis, in Los Angeles, in Atlanta. This has been happening in many cities following these protests. Once, you know, they can start peaceful, and it changes, and that's really what happened here today. It started as a peaceful protest. There were speakers. The reporters we had there said, you know, there were people there handing out free water and free masks.
Am I done, or what's up?
And it has changed about an hour after that protest ended. Businesses were getting broken into, and now it has really continued to escalate. Gabby, are they pushing people farther up State Street?
Yeah, Amanda, you can see behind me, that is the police force right there. They are pushing us towards the top of State Street. Sorry, I'm out of breath because we're running in the pepper spray. They're pushing us towards the top of State Street. Ahead of me, people are still toppling over those flower pots. So I think this is only going to keep going. Right here, people are moving forward. More tear gas was just dropped. So, yep, here comes, oh, shoot! Oh.
it seems like we just lost that shot there. We will check in with our Gabrielle Becerra and make sure she... Oh, we got her back. Gabby, are you okay?
Yeah, Amanda, we made it out. They threw tear gas right by us. Yeah, you can see our tripod is still back there, but they just threw tear gas. Somebody has our tripod. But anyway, they're throwing tear gas like there's no tomorrow here. So, Amanda, I think it's time that oh my God. People are now yelling to get the liquor store. Amanda, this is getting pretty bad.
Yeah, we understand. We want to make sure you're safe. At the same time, we don't know where a safe spot is. People keep moving. More people are, throwing over those flower pots. We're even unsure who's causing this violence, who's just watching, who has their phone out and is just recording, and it's hard to even tell you to get to a safe space because we don't even know where that is.
Okay, we need to keep moving. Stephen, we need to keep moving though. We can't just stop. We need to keep moving.
We totally understand, Gabby. You can keep going wherever you feel comfortable and safe.
Okay, Amanda, I just want to recap for you everything that's been happening here because a lot has happened very quickly. So about an hour after the Justice for George protest ended, a very peaceful protest from what I witnessed, people started breaking into businesses on State Street, and it has not stopped since then. That was about 5 o'clock, a little bit before then, and police are letting off tear gas. They have announced to people that this is an unlawful assembly if they're in the area, so they're asking that people just get out and go home.
All we saying is do some real police work.
People are breaking.
Do some real police work. Plus shit, man. Do some real police work. All that harassment shit.
Of course, this is a live situation. We want to apologize for any language or, inappropriate things that are being said out there. Gabby,
Amanda.
Yes, go ahead, continue.
Amanda, you were asking me earlier what the message is. As you can just heard this man come up to me and said he wants the police to do real police work. And a lot of the messages we have been hearing have been negativity toward the police since the second protest began. But we're continuing to move. We're gonna keep moving because we want to stay safe out here. But we are moving towards the top of State Street. And police are still pushing people back. And Amanda, I know you were asking who these people are. I would say it's probably a mix of people from the protest earlier, as well as people who just came out to see what's going on here. And you can kind of see those people are hanging back on their cell phones and videotaping what's happening.
Yeah, it's hard because this violence continues down State Street. So as soon as more tear gas is released, those people are also running. Those people that are just watching are also running. People on their bikes, people just there on a weekend sunny day.
What time? Are they still alive?
Yeah, Amanda, I have to say that. I'm sorry, Amanda. I have to say that right before this all started, State Street was bustling. You've seen it the past couple days. People are finally out enjoying the businesses that are reopening. If Troxel wants to turn around here, a car is now on the sidewalk by Goodman's Jewelers. This is where it all started this afternoon, right after the protest. People came down here and started breaking into the jewelry store. And it took police officers maybe 5 to 10 minutes to get here, and that's when they started advancing and said that this is an unlawful assembly now and that people just need to leave the area.
Yeah, Gabby, in the beginning there, it seemed like it was a small group, but this group has really grown.
Yeah, Amanda, from what I could tell, maybe about 30 protesters were the ones who were throwing, not throwing, they were hitting Goodman's Jewelers with a piece of wood, a wood stick. And it's a mix of people who have come out and maybe people who found out this was happening and decided to rejoin the protest. You can hear just the damage that's being done behind me. People are dragging things. They're throwing rocks. They're throwing anything that they can break windows with. And police are still moving. We're now in the 200 block. Tear gas is coming. We're gonna keep going.
And I know in the beginning, Gabby, you were saying this is an unlawful assembly. That's what the police kept saying. But we haven't been able to hear anything from those police that are, with the tear gas. They're releasing that tear gas, but it's hard to tell if they are saying anything else. Gabby, can you hear what they're saying?
Amanda, I haven't heard since they said it was an unlawful assembly. I have not been able to hear anything else from the police. Just a lot of sirens and tear gas being thrown, pepper spray and tear gas.
And this all started after such a peaceful protest, and it seemed like people were dispersing at that point, right? People were going home.
Amanda, actually, a man came up to us asking if it was all over, and we were like, yeah. Everybody went home, and about an hour later, they came marching down State Street from the Capitol, and that's when the destruction began.
And where did the protest end? Because I know you guys marched.
Ended at the Capitol right off of... Yeah, Amanda, so basically the protest began at the state capitol on State Street. They walked to the Dane County Jail. Then they walked down East Wash towards Willie Street, went to the home of Tony Robinson, and then they marched back up East Washington and finished right there. They finished with a moment of silence. And it seemed like everything was done with for the day, except for a couple stragglers, but I did not see this coming.
So, Gabby, from what we know right now, the first thing we saw was Goodman's Jewelers. That was the first business that was broken into and damaged. We saw Urban Outfitters. What are some of the other businesses? I mean, there are mannequins in the street. What are some of the other businesses that you've seen damaged and broken into?
There was a fired pizza place that's been closed for a couple of years now, but you can see behind me, and we showed you earlier, that businesses are hurrying to put their outside setups away because they've had outside tables going. And Amanda, I think we need to toss it back to you.
Okay, thank you so much, Gabby. I want to make sure you get safe. Thank you so much for being out there for us.
Thank you, Amanda.
All right, thanks so much for joining us. I just want to reiterate a little bit of what was happening there. We had a peaceful protest today at the Capitol. What seemed peaceful, as Gabby just said, they marched to Tony Robinson's house. They marched back to the Capitol, and as people were dispersing, it seemed like everything went well. It was a peaceful march talking about George Floyd and the movement for less racism, and that quickly turned into something else. About an hour after the protest ended and people were dispersing, we started to see people go back to State Street, damage some of the businesses there. We'll, of course, keep Gabby there and keep updating you on channel3000.com, as well as later in our shows, News 3 Now at 10.
The open road, the wind in your hair, the feeling of freedom that drives us to go out and discover. At Chevy, we're committed to getting you there with confidence and peace of mind. If you need a new Chevy, interest-free APR financing for 84 months on many of our most popular models. You may even shop online and take delivery at home where available. And when you do, your Chevy Clean dealers commit to using enhanced vehicle cleaning measures with CDC-approved cleansers, so you can find new roads with confidence.
While there's no instruction manual for what we're all going through now, there is Christian and Natalie and all our other associates at Pick and Save, working with one of the country's biggest supply chains for the Kroger family of brands, keeping our promise that our shelves will be continually stocked and that you'll always have access to the things you need. Because together, we've got you covered. Pick and Save, fresh for everyone.
From our family to yours, we want to encourage you to keep going. Keep protecting what's most important. Keep hopeful in the face of all this. keep believing, keep being strong, keep supporting the people on the front line, keep staying together while staying apart, keep being fearless, and most of all, keep dreaming. American Family Insurance is mailing our personal auto insurance customers a premium relief payment to help them keep going. We'll keep being here when you need us.
Raise your right hand and repeat after me.
I solemnly swear that I will support the veterans of the
United States Armed Forces.
I will defend the Constitution
against all enemies.
That I will commit
to ensuring they are
not forgotten.
And I will obey the orders of the
President of the United States.
And I will enable veterans to live the same life of opportunity
they have provided me.
So help me God.
When America needed us to build, we built. Masks, ventilators, shields. When frontliners needed support, Ford dealers answered. And now we're open and ready to serve you. With exciting special offers and deals across the Ford lineup. Stop by a Ford dealership or go online. We've made it safer to shop, easier to buy. Right now, qualified buyers can get 0% financing for 84 months, plus 3 months deferred payments on select 2019 Ford vehicles.
All right, we are back talking a little bit about what is happening on State Street right now. There was a peaceful protest called Justice for George. That was a protest that seemed to be going well. There was not any violence that was happening during that time of the protest. They marched to Tony Robinson's house. They marched down East Washington Street. A lot of young people, a lot of people that had some important messages to say while they had speeches at the Capitol, and then they marched and they came back to the Capitol. Everything seemed to go well, peaceful. This is kind of a message we've seen in a lot of places across the country, that things start out peaceful and they quickly change. So after that peaceful march and protest stopped, about an hour later, there was some destruction on State Street. We have this feed of that protest from earlier today. There were signs saying, "I can't breathe." One of the statues there on State Street, on the steps of the Capitol, had a bag over its head, and I believe it said "Justice is dead." These protesters, they covered a lot of ground. They started at the state Capitol marching. They marched to the Dane County Jail and then onto Williamson Street to the house of Tony Robinson, who was shot and killed by an officer in 2015. Protesters say that the recent killings are more names on a list that shouldn't even exist.
Put your hand in, feel what we feel. Quit hiding, because it's going to get to the point if you keep hiding, it's going to come to your doorstep.
I've been really worried about my family. It's really scary, but it's not unwarranted. This stuff needs to happen.
Those were some of the organizers, some of the people that were there at the protest today. They spoke to some of our reporters on the scene, sharing what it's going to take the next generation to stand up for and fight for what they believe in. But as we know, after that protest ended, things changed very quickly. Since then, there have been businesses that have been broken into on State Street. There have been plant pots that are out on the street. They just keep kicking them over, destroying kind of whatever they can as they go down State Street. We had a live look for you There's also protests happening, in big cities across the country. We have some in Milwaukee. The National Guard has been called in to try to settle some of those protests, but we will get you some of that footage from Milwaukee, and we will be right back.
Stephen.
Now First Warn Weather is brought to you by Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor.
Discover a shopping and design experience as comfortable as the furniture. Lazy Boy Home Furnishings and Decor. Schedule your free design consultation today.
Your bank can be virtually any place you are. You can deposit checks from here, and you can see your transactions and check your balance from here, and pay bills from here. Because your bank isn't just one place. It's virtually any place you are. Just download and use the Chase mobile app. Visit chase.com/mobile.
Hey, Shackleford! Shackleford? They replaced our old furnace with the new Carrier. You know, turn to the experts.
Shackleford fixed our AC with no surprises.
Are you guys talking about Shackleford? I trust those guys.
Did someone say Shackleford?
Shackleford. Schedule spring maintenance now.
Though challenges surround us.
Closer, we walked off for a second. But you can hear the police, the sirens, they're still pushing. Oh, okay. I was going to second it. Amanda, it's getting a lot closer. We're at the top of State Street. We're at the Capitol. And I don't know if you can see, but there are people now coming up this way.
Right in the pussy.
I'm sorry about that.
Fuck her right in the pussy.
Again, I'm sorry. We're gonna get away from this. But
It's time to freshen up around your yard. This year, don't struggle with bulky bags of
street. And we got people just standing here with signs, waiting for the police. We're gonna get just a tiny bit closer, but not too close here. All right, people are throwing what looks like water bottles at the police. Amanda, my programming is off, so I can't hear your questions. Police are standing in front of protesters with their hands up, signs. They have signs in the air, and police aren't doing anything. They're just standing there watching right now. The group has really dwindled down. What we saw earlier in the show, that is no longer as big as what it was, but people are still standing around just watching as these protesters stand here facing the officers.
Gabby, can you hear me? Are those people there standing there with signs? Are they saying anything to police that you can hear?
Amanda, all that I can hear are some expletives towards the police, and all negativity that they're yelling at the police. I can't really make out exactly what it is, because it seems like everybody's yelling something different right now, to be honest with you.
Since we talked to you last, have you seen anyone get arrested?
Amanda, I have not personally seen anybody get arrested yet, but the police did come over a loudspeaker and say that this is an unlawful assembly and that people who stay in this area can be arrested.
And yet we still see a lot of people. I mean, there are the ones that have signs there in the middle, but it still looks like a lot of people.
Let's go.
I want to make sure Gabby gets to a safe spot before we talk to her again. It looks like there was some more tear gas. This is at the top of State Street, right at the Capitol Square.
Amanda, the tear gas. Amanda, the tear gas is flying in every direction. I can feel it in my throat. Even if you aren't directly in where the tear gas or the pepper spray lands, you can feel it. It drifts away.
And still, it doesn't look like people are dispersing that quickly. I mean, there are people still kind of just walking around on the corner there.
Yeah, people are walking around. They're just moving back as the tear gas happens. Troxel, take a look at this. I'm going to have our photographer take a look. They're trying to block the road here. I don't know if that's to block police cars from getting through or to block the actual officers. The people are taking the barricades from the construction around the Capitol and now not letting officers through. But it looks like cars who have been stuck there in traffic are now able to get through.
And like you said, you can see those two people holding milk. So it seems like they were prepared for tear gas. I mean, they came here expecting that to happen.
Amanda, I just had someone offer me a bottle of milk saying, do you have milk? And I can't track, so let's back up a little bit. I'm starting to feel it in my throat and my eyes. Amanda, yeah, I don't know if people came prepared or if they ran to the convenience store right now to get it, but people are walking around with milk. People, look at right here. We have someone actually using milk right now to get the tear gas out of their eyes. That tear gas seemed to do it though, because that crowd got away pretty quickly.
Was the street around the Capitol, was the Capitol Square previously blocked off for the protest? Is it still blocked off?
No, Amanda, this construction's been here for a while. These rails and the barricades and stuff, that's from construction. That a project, I don't know exactly what they're doing, but that's been going on for a while. That wasn't from the protest.
And so this has really changed over the last 2 hours. This started at Goodman's, the jewelry store, and then it seemed like police were going down State Street toward UW, and then they have turned around and now are coming up toward the Capitol and finally got to the corner there, the top of State Street. And this has been 2 hours of this, right?
Amanda, I haven't even checked the clock, but yes, this started just before 6. So the protest, the Justice for George protest, that was pretty peaceful, ended around 4:30-ish. I'm not too sure on the exact time, but about an hour later, that's when these protesters came back for their second round, and they started heading down State Street and started breaking the glass at Goodman's. So, yeah, it's been about 2 hours now since this display has been going on State Street.
It seems like there aren't very many
to give you a better idea,
people there now.
I think, Amanda, that last bit of tear gas, that got some people out of the way, but you can see people are slowly coming back for more. But I would say most of the people, remember when we were talking earlier about we don't know if these people were here for the protest or if these people were here for, just to watch. It seems like most of the people who are just watching have gotten out of the way, and the people who are returning are the people who are here to get their message to the police officers.
Have you talked to anyone since, these last 2 hours when it turned violent? Have you heard from anyone about what is their message? How has it changed from when it was a peaceful protest to now?
Amanda, I haven't had a chance to talk to anyone specifically. I haven't had a chance to talk to anyone specifically about how it's changed, but from my perspective, I could just tell you that earlier people were just marching and shouting messages, and now people are running. People are running. There's more. Oh, I'm so sorry. Sorry, people are running. People are running. We're gonna keep going.
And obviously, this is all unfolding.
Amanda,
so Gabby's trying to learn what's happening. It seems like people are again moving those cones.
Yeah, Amanda, you can see like this person right here is moving the cones. I don't know what they're planning to do with them, but they are bringing them closer to the officers who are in a line, standing in unison at the top of State Street. More people, more cones are coming in.
Yeah, maybe.
I don't know exactly what the plan is.
But officers are not too far away. They're right there at the top of State Street.
Yeah, Amanda, there's about 10 officers or so just that I can see at the top of State Street, but way more even behind them. And they're just standing there. They're releasing